of the most confusing experiences in dating is when someone seems like they care. They check in on you, they remember little details, they notice when your energy shifts, maybe they help when you need something. Sometimes they maybe even make you feel more emotionally seen than people who were fully available. And yet something about the connection still leaves you feeling anxious, unclear, emotionally unsafe. I think one of the hardest lessons to learn is that care and genuine intention are not always the same thing, because sometimes someone can care about how you make them feel without caring enough to create the safety that protects your heart. And that's the gray area that I really want to explore today. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Lonnie, and I like to make content for the girl that's hard on herself. This is the soft love approach, where we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between through a lens with soft love. Today we're getting into, does he really care or is it fake? Sometimes what feels like care is actually much more complicated. Sometimes it's convenience, sometimes it's loneliness, sometimes it's emotional dependency, sometimes it's guilt, and sometimes it's someone wanting continued access to your softness, your emotional presence, your comfort, without offering the kind of clarity that would protect you. That's why this can feel so confusing, because the person may genuinely feel something. They may even mean parts of what they say, but genuine feelings are not the same as genuine responsibility. Someone can absolutely feel drawn to you, need you, enjoy your presence, and still not be loving you in a way that is emotionally safe. So this video is really about learning the difference between care that creates peace and care that simply keeps you close. I think this kind of care feels so believable because it often includes the exact behaviors we naturally associate with love. He checks in, he remembers things that you told him weeks ago, or just remembers things that you told him. He notices when your mood changes. He offers help, maybe even financially. Maybe he becomes especially attentive the moments when he notices or senses distance. Maybe he says all the right things when you're about to pull away. And those things can feel very intimate. They create relief in the body. The feeling of finally feeling noticed, finally being considered, finally being chosen. But the bigger question is not whether he does caring things. The bigger question is, does this care create safety in the larger reality of the connection? Because attention can imitate safety, especially when someone wants continued access to you. Sometimes the care is less about protecting your heart and more about preserving their place in your life. That's why it can still feel so real while leaving you with confusion. But confusion is information. If the connection repeatedly leaves you in gray areas, emotional gray areas, the caring moments alone are not enough evidence. Genuine care feels different because it creates peace across the whole connection, not just in moments. Real care looks like honesty, even when that honesty risks losing you. It looks like clarity. It looks like decisiveness. It looks like someone being willing to make difficult choices so they are not keeping you suspended in uncertainty. Real care considers your emotional well-being in that bigger picture. It asks, how do I protect her heart in this process? Not how do I keep her while avoiding responsibility. Genuine care does not make confusion the ongoing pattern. It doesn't keep you in gray areas. It doesn't repeatedly ask you to override your intuition. It does not require you to betray your own values to maintain the connection. The difference is that real care is willing to be inconvenient. It is willing to tell the truth. It is willing to create clarity, because peace matters more than possession. I think sometimes what we fall for is not the care itself, but maybe the relief of finally feeling emotionally noticed, the relief of finally feeling chosen, the relief of softness after a season of loneliness, the relief of someone coming in and stepping into places where we once felt neglected, maybe by someone else, maybe by ourselves. And when you've been craving safety, that feeling can feel almost identical to love. Maybe that's why this gets so emotionally complicated. Sometimes we're not responding to the truth of the connection, but the exhale that it gives our nervous system in the moment. And that temporary exhale makes us overlook the bigger reality that the connection may still be inconsistent, unclear, or built on circumstances that do not truly honor us. Sometimes we don't fall for love, we fall for the feeling of finally being seen. And there is so much compassion that's needed there, because that doesn't make us foolish, it makes us human. What makes the dynamic so emotionally powerful is that sometimes the care does soothe something real inside of us. It touches the part of you that's been tired, the part of you that's been lonely, the part that's been craving softness, the part that has spent too long over-functioning, overthinking, and trying to be okay being alone. So when someone enters your life and offers attention, reassurance, affection, or support, it can feel like medicine. And sometimes that relief can feel so profound that we start confusing that exhale with truth. But relief is not always reality. Sometimes what feels like love is simply your nervous system responding to temporary emotional soothing. That doesn't make the feeling fake, it just means the feeling alone cannot be the only evidence. The deeper question is what remains after the moment passes. Are you left with peace, or are you left with more waiting, anxiety, self-abandonment, or more confusion? Because love should not only soothe the wound, it should also honor the life around it. Sorry, y'all, this hair is just driving me nuts, and it's late. But I'm here. I said I was gonna film tonight, so bear with me. I really want to normalize this. Confusion is not you being difficult. Confusion is data. If someone's care feels beautiful in isolated moments, but destabilizing in the bigger picture, your body might be picking up on the mismatch between affection and integrity. A lot of us as women can sometimes override this because caring moments feel very emotionally nourishing, but in some instances, confusion may be the wisest part of you. It may be the part of you noticing that the care only exists in fragments, and fragments are not the same as safety. Instead of talking yourself out of the discomfort, ask what truth is the confusion trying to protect. So I think one of the gentlest questions we can start asking ourselves is not, does he care? But instead, does this connection create clarity, peace, and emotional safety in my life? Because someone can care in moments and still be unsafe in the bigger picture. Someone can feel something and still not be acting from integrity. Someone can want closeness and still not be offering the kind of love that protects your heart. And I think real care should not require self-abandonment. It should never ask you to silence your intuition. It should never ask you to betray your values. And it should not cost you your peace just to keep receiving it. If it repeatedly leaves you confused, anxious, and disconnected from yourself, that may be closeness, but it's not genuine care. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you gained something from it. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up so I know you liked it, and subscribe if you want to tune in to our next video. Bye guys.